This is Don't Panic, episode number 351, recorded November 7th, 2022. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast on Gadgets, the Internet, and You. I'm Sean Jennings, joined by two guys who are less than three guys, but more than one guy. It's Stan Miller and Colby Rabideau. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello, Sean.
What's going on? I have to be honest with you. I actually did think about what clever thing I was going to say at the opening of the show, and there's literally nothing interesting about today. There's no good, weird holidays. Nothing interesting happened on history of this day. There are the celebrities whose today birthdays are not interesting. The best I could come up with is on this day in history, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was elected to a historic fourth term, beating Thomas Dewey.
Who?
In the famous Dewey defeats Truman headline election.
Right.
What was that? That was it. And also, I kid you not, it is National Canine Lymphoma Awareness Day, and I could not make a joke about dog cancer, so I just left that one there.
No, that's not acceptable.
That's not this classy kind of show we're doing.
Who makes those holidays? Who does that?
I have a feeling it's one of those things, like if you donate enough to a local politician, they'll declare it whatever you want. You know, it's like, I remember a couple years ago, there was a massive debate. This was back when I get the New York news stations, but New York had a big debate over the state snack. Because at one point it was the potato chip, which was invented in Saratoga, New York. But it was at Chobani was planning to build a big yogurt factory in New York, but wouldn't do it unless this is true, wouldn't do it unless they declared yogurt the state snack in New York. Like the stupidest, most petty thing. And there was like, and I don't, actually, now I'm curious what the New York state snack is. If they ever ended up.
Yogurt's a terrible snack.
Oh, there you go.
I love yogurt, but it doesn't beg snackability, except for Go-Gurt.
Sure, that's true.
Why does New York have a state snack? Oh, look, there's a whole lesson here for students learning how government works by figuring out why New York has a state snack. And should the government have the power to declare a state snack?
Yeah, that's an infringement on our rights.
Yeah, back in
What is the Massachusetts state snack?
It is I know the state muffin is the cranberry muffin. I don't know if we have a state snack or not.
How can you have a state muffin and not have a state snack?
Oh, the Boston cream donut, apparently.
That tracks.
But
seems fun.
There's some disagreement here on the internet. Wikipedia, list of U.S. state foods. All right, let's go down to Massachusetts here. I find this stuff. So we don't have a state snack. We have a state muffin, a state bean, the baked navy bean, a state cookie, the chocolate chip cookie, wholly unoriginal, and the state donut is the Boston cream donut, the state dessert, the Boston cream pie.
That makes sense.
And Dan, you'll appreciate this. The Washington state vegetable is the Walla Walla sweet onion.
Love me some Walla Walla sweet onions.
I love saying Walla Walla. It's got to be the most fun. Find me a more fun city in the United States to say.
Okay, fun city names. Aren't you glad the internet exists?
This is one of those Don't Panic episodes where the Don't Panic Googles things, episode 6,
and regurgitates them into audio. How about Bangs, Texas?
No. That's
Buff,
funny.
Alaska?
What was it?
Dinosaur, Colorado?
What was the Alaska one?
Oh, Buff, Alaska.
Buff, Alaska.
Why not North Carolina?
It's close. There's something about the alliteration in Walla Walla, Washington that just really brings it to the next level.
Okay, how about this? OK, Oklahoma.
That's good.
That's deep.
How's it spelt?
OKAY. It was named after the OK Truck Manufacturing Company.
God. It would be really fun if it was just OK. It'd be OK, comma, OK.
What about Oblong, Illinois? That's a mouthful.
That's a terrible name, though.
Yeah.
Not as bad as Hooker, Oklahoma.
No. God. What is Hooker? Does it say where that comes from?
Hooker? No, it did not. Not in the article I was reading. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It does say here. It was a guy's nickname. John Hooker Threckhold, a ranch foreman.
That's fair. Wasn't there a early American patriot or something? The last name of Hooker. No,
Are you thinking of
at a certain point though? You got to vote to change your town name. Unless maybe they're leaning into it. Maybe this is like the red light district of of Illinois. Where is Hooker?
That would be Hooker, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. They got OK and Hooker in Oklahoma? Man.
It's an okay hooker.
Hooker? Okay.
I also think, did I tell you about some of the funny Washington states? These aren't necessarily cities or anything, but like Disappointment Pass and things like that. Funny Washington state place names. New Googling on Don't Panic.
It never gets old.
Hump tulips, that's pretty good. Hump tulips. Oh yeah, Welcome Washington, Index Washington, Startup Washington, Vader Washington. There are some good ones, but some of the place names. Oh yeah, Mount Despair. Here we go.
Mount Despair.
Washington State's bummer place names ranked. Excellent article. Desolation Peak, Poison Lake, Mount Terror, Mount Despair, Damnation Peak, Massacre Bay. I've been to Massacre Bay. Victim Island. Obstruction Island. Obstruction Island is kind of a bummer. It's got nothing on Victim Island, though.
Victim Island. That's a reality show I would watch.
Useless Bay. Oh, yeah. Charles Wilkes noted this bay offered no protection for vessels. Apparently, it's only used for a bay. Useless Bay. Point to no point. Yeah, this is good. I really love these sarcastic Washington place names. Oh yeah, Poo Poo Point. It's a really good hike at Poo Poo Point. And every time I say it, I have to not giggle because people do mention that place all the time.
They ran out of all the normal place names by the time they got to you.
I haven't been to Point No Point though. I got to take a picture next to that sign.
Definitely.
Colby, I've got to ask you. What are you drinking? It looks delicious.
I made a daiquiri.
Look, he's got the glass. Oh, he's got the stem. Looks frosty and delicious.
It's pretty good.
By the way, Colby, I don't know if my tastes have evolved or this place was worse, but I was disappointed with all but one of the Mai Tais I had in Hawaii. They were too watery. And they like, is this like part of the styles that people don't combine the ingredients? They just sort of do it like a float and then you have to mix it yourself like bubble tea or something?
Yeah, I feel like I wasn't impressed with the like craftsmanship of the Mai Tais we had in Hawaii, especially for the $20 that they cost. Maybe it was $18 at the time, but it was still a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've only really ever had Mai Tais in Hawaii.
Oh. Well, I can make a really good Mai Tai. I think my Mai Tais turn out better than the Hawaii Mai Tai. So
Nice.
next time.
All right. Sounds good.
I will say, though, I do have to jump in favor of the mediocre Mai Tai. Because I've had a lot of mediocre I like a mediocre Mai Tai. Like, there's some drinks I will get pissed off if it's mediocre. A mediocre Mai Tai is, like, just fruity enough where I'm like, it's a it's a pre-made syrup or whatever, and it's not. But you know what? I drink them so rarely. If I'm on a beach, I tend to let it go.
Here's the thing,
Sure.
though, Sean, and this is what I was realizing while I was sitting on the beach drinking a mediocre Mai Tai, is for the same price, you can get one of those, like, blended rum, coconut, banana
True.
brain blasters. And that shit is delicious, no matter how shitty they make it.
Did you remember the place we stayed at, the fancy place we stayed at, had a drink that was like, it was like a coconut mojito or something? Oh, like a frozen coconut mojito, which sounded insane, but I still think about it. It was so good.
Yeah.
So good. So minty, so coconutty.
See, like a margarita, a mediocre to bad margarita will piss me off. Like that's one drink where I will not stand because I don't like a Mai Tai has a lot of fresh ingredients you theoretically would need. Like it's not easy to make a good Mai Tai. A decent, like even like chain restaurant margarita is not that hard to make. So when I get like a crappy one, that really infuriates me.
Yes.
Sure. All you have to do is juice the lime. Just juice the lime. You're good.
You know, especially when it's like an old mix that's been sitting out and they put barely any alcohol in it. And, oh, yeah, that bums me out.
For shame. Now I want a margarita.
Don't
Next
worry,
on the
Colby.
list.
Your drink's still really good, I'm sure.
I'll be right back.
We see the blender going in the background. Yeah, I was looking. I talked about this on the show last week. I'm going to Vegas next week, and there is right near the hotel I'm staying at. They just opened a extraordinarily high end tequila bar that specializes in tequila drinks. And I was like, man, of all the alcohols that I haven't spent a lot of time with, tequila seems like. But they were like minimum $50 a drink type place. Like when I say high end, I'm not joking around.
Does it come with a steak?
No, and listen, they're not even like big glasses of alcohol. They're like the little glasses, but it's like the finest. Like we flew it in from Mexico this morning type tequila. Like they're absolutely crazy. I'm probably not going to do it, but I did for a second. I'm like, what's the most expensive drink in my life I've ever purchased? And could I tell if I got a $50 cocktail? Could I really tell the difference?
Colby and I have had $50 cocktails.
I was gonna say. I think the only time the most expensive drinks I've ever had was at that place, the Aviary in New York that we went to. Which the drinks were, I mean, they were good. But they did come in like each of them came in like a Rube Goldberg like contraption.
Oh, there's a show that went with it.
Yeah, like it was a whole
Very much so, yeah.
a whole thing.
Yeah, if it comes in like a collector's glass, I can get,
Well, you didn't
may
get to
pay a
keep
little
the
extra.
contraption, but like it was a contraption. It was like an amusement park ride. I don't know. What a place. The view is nice.
Was nice.
I think you should go, Sean, for the sake of the show.
I think so too. You don't know. You might really appreciate the difference between a $50 cocktail and an
I was trying to
$18 one.
I don't think I've ever spent more than $20 on a cocktail in my life. That's probably the most I've ever spent. So now would be the time.
Yeah.
You just gotta
I'm
like
curious.
rope a customer in,
Well,
like,
that's what it is. I gotta get somebody to like buy me one and write it off on their expense report. Like,
sure, yeah.
Got to work my way. And by the way, this is not being recorded or anything. Admitting to business crimes.
No, that's the you got vendors, right? People
Oh,
at this conference
absolutely.
want to sell you stuff.
Right.
No, actually, they don't. They really don't.
They don't.
These are guys who build decks for a living. They don't give a shit what I do. Got it.
There's
by the way-
other. There's not a single. I'm just trying to help you out here, Sean. There's not a
I
single
know you
other
are.
company there who buys stuff from you or.
No, absolutely not. Do you know what I do at these trade shows? Like what I spend my time like during
Are
the day
you
doing?
out on the street spinning one of the signs?
Honestly, that'd be more useful. I'm vacuuming, picking
Okay.
up trash, picking
Okay.
up lunch, I am basically an assistant gopher, exchanging drill batteries. That's basically my job at these shows, is just to handle that stuff so the sales guys can sell. I am so unimportant.
I see. So you got. Oh, I get it. So you got to get one of the sales guys to take you out to one of the clients' meet and greets after the thing.
And I have done that. That's how I go to the really expensive restaurants.
Right.
Is I tag. Oh, hey, where are you guys going? Can I tag along?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And actually, we did that one year, and we pissed. It ended up being fine, but like we totally ignored the customer and just like had a blast, just the company guys. And they were so mad at us, and thankfully we made it okay in the end. But the whole time they were bummers. We just totally ignored them. Not very nice of us.
Sounds like a them problem.
Well, they should have been cooler and more exciting. I think the whole time they wanted to go to a better party. We were lame. Excellent. What else is hot here?
I think I told everyone before the show, but I finally got my keyboard that I referenced last show off delayed and misconfigured. So I'm undertaking an arts and craft project while we look at tech news, slowly pulling off all the keys and then slowly replacing them.
Now, do you know what order they go back in?
Yes, because I am putting them in front of me in the order that they came off.
Just put it back alphabetically. It's the same
and
thing.
I took a photo beforehand just to make sure I wouldn't screw it up.
Very smart. Very smart.
Yes, because I've screwed it up before.
It's a shame,
also,
Dan.
they have an orientation.
Ooh.
So not only does the order
look at the
matter,
swoop on that.
but the which way it goes matters.
Swoop.
Dan, it would not
contoured
surprise
to the
me
hand.
if you told me that, like, yeah, these keys are specially made to my finger shape.
That's the next.
They're molded
next,
to fit my fingers.
Yeah, because I like their Moonlander. I really like the quality of it, and I like its features. But I think I agree with Colby. It is just a little bit too big for my little Dan hands.
Yeah.
So that's the next. The next evolution, frankly, is when I straight up design and build my own keyboard, and I move into some house and I buy a 3D printer, and then that's it. It's just you never see me ever again.
Hell yeah.
I don't
Printing
think I'm ready
keycaps
for that
till
yet,
you
though.
die.
I do. I think I have 7 mechanical keyboards at this house right now. 5 of which work.
It's not a bad ratio.
If anyone wants a happy hacking keyboard, I have 2. Willing to part with one of them.
Oh boy, what a contest. Right into us. Don'tPanicShow@gmail.com. Subject line, I want Dan's leftover keyboard.
Yeah. And tell me why it should go to you. It needs to go to a loving home.
That's right. And also make sure you include in the email the number I'm thinking of right now.
And, a check made out to, Daniel Miller would not go amiss either. Presumably the person who sends in the largest check is going to win, although all the checks will be cashed.
Yeah, I was going to say, and Dan Miller's kind of hard to spell. Just write cash in the in the to line.
Right. We'll definitely mail it.
I saw a privacy-focused startup who I was reading through the news today, prepping for the show, and they, in an effort, they wanted to use a payment system that was truly not trackable, so you can put cash in an envelope and send it to them, and they will tie it to your account, and that's how you paid for their service. This was a real thing. This was like some VPN or something, and they were like, yeah, we're introducing pay by cash. And I'm like,
that
that's
almost sounds like an
cool.
April Fool's joke.
And they're like, just put like $30 in an envelope, send it to us, you get the VPN for a year or whatever. I'm like, okay.
So what
based
do
in,
they
like,
do?
Sweden.
Do they say do they have like a specific dollar amount that you must send, and then that's how they tie it back to whose account should be given the subscription or whatever?
No, they generate a unique code for your account, and then that code is tied to your account, and you put that in the envelope with the cash.
I see.
They're based in Sweden. I don't know what they're doing with U.S. currency, but you can send it to them. So
I kind of want to try it.
Spooky. Yeah, when you, well, I don't know what you're doing where that you've got to go that far to hide your activities. There's no good reason you need to do that. I'm sorry. Like, you want a VPN, I get that, but when you're at the point where you're putting cash in an envelope,
I'm
you've
really
gone too
worried
far.
Netflix is going to come after me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you really got to be that untraceable, huh?
Well, they're the, it's a similar kind of person to the Doomsday Prepper cosplayer. There's like the person who just enjoys being as anonymous as possible. It's like a fun hobby, like keyboards, except they're like, oh yeah, I run like a Linux distro on my laptop, and it doesn't even save anything to the hard drive, and every time I restart it, everything gets deleted, and it runs only free software drivers because I need to know everything that's happening in this thing, and I use only burner email accounts. Like, that's totally a thing.
Yeah, it is crazy. Some of the, I know in the marketing world, when they're working on marketing for new products, sometimes they'll have a computer in a room with no internet that is locked with a security guard in front to keep secrets secret when you're working on a campaign. I mean, some of that stuff is pretty serious.
Yeah. I'm not saying no one needs to be this secure. I just think the majority of people who are being that secure are doing it for fun, would be my guess.
I feel like the people who talk about being that secure are doing it for fun, and the people you don't know
Yeah.
are the ones. Like, if you need to be that secure, you aren't telling anyone.
Yes. Yes.
Well, this is 100% true. I did have a coworker. This was a couple of weeks ago. I get the tech questions as the young guy in the office, and I had this person. They're like, Sean, should I be worried about how secure the Wi-Fi is in my house? Like, could someone hack into the Wi-Fi in my house? And I'm like, do you see a lot of vans driving up and down your street with hackers written on the side? No, you don't? Then you're probably fine. I was like, you are way more of a risk of your password getting stolen than anyone hacking into your Wi-Fi. I wouldn't worry about it if I were you.
Yeah. Plus, like, with that used to be a problem with WEP, but with WPA2, like, is it even, possible by, non-nation states to hack into a Wi-Fi network?
Well, but it's the same with those. It's all those local news stars where you're like, can hackers remotely slam the brakes on your car and cause an accident? And I'm like, even if they can, it's the same. Like, planes can crash, but statistically, you're probably fine.
They don't. Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to remotely, grab your aunt's Subaru and send her into a ditch. I wouldn't worry about it. I sure hope not.
All your aunts drive Subarus?
Hey, listen, it's an aunt kind of car. Not judging. A fine maker of automobiles.
Have we talked about how you cannot rent a Subaru at a car rental place?
I don't know how that would have ever come up in conversation.
Well, because
a
while ago we were thinking about buying a Subaru, and we were like, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if we could just go down to Enterprise?" And this is when we were doing the monthly rentals of cars, and just like rent one, and then we can test drive it for a month. And the answer is no. Car rental companies, none of them carry Subarus at all, and I couldn't find any explanation as to why online. But it doesn't really make sense unless it's all BS, and I didn't end up pursuing this. But like, supposedly Subarus are very reliable, especially in like, wet, snowy climates, right? So you'd think that if you were, I would think if I were a car rental company, reliability is the number one thing I care about, and I want to be making as few repairs and have the car make as much money for me as possible. Maybe Subarus are actually unreliable, and this is all like a great trick played on us by the Subaru marketing folks.
The rental guys know something you don't.
Could be.
Well, do you think it might have to do with the format of their cars? Subaru's rental agencies mostly have sedans and like vans.
SUVs.
Like or bigger SUVs. Like, I don't
Right.
think there are a lot of small SUVs that you rent. You would just get a bigger sedan. I don't
Right.
know if there's a big rental market for the crossover.
That's a
market
good
that
point.
Subaru goes at.
Actually, I had my first experience with a rental car breaking on me in Hawaii, and I'll give Enterprise full credit. They totally handled it and didn't blame me, and made it very stress free, which was nice. I was very worried, but we had a regular ass car, the cheapest car you could rent, and then we returned it. And they're like, oh, well, here's this other car we have. Is this okay? And it was a crossover. And that was the first time I'd ever had a crossover rental. But yeah, you're right. Every other time it's been a car or an SUV.
When I went to Charlotte last, they literally said to me, "We're totally out of sedans. You can have a van or you can have a
Yep.
minivan or a truck." And we had like 3 of us. It was not necessary at all. But there was we don't have a single sedan on the lot. And they were worried I was going to get mad. I'm sure other people did. I was like, I don't give a shit if it drives. I don't care.
Yeah, it depends where you are. In Hawaii, it's weird, right? Because on the one hand, you want a 4-wheel drive Jeep because some of the roads are just dirt. On the other hand, there's not a lot of space in any of the places where you want to park, and it actually was materially advantageous to have a smaller car in many circumstances. So I was a little bummed to have the larger car, especially because we had just finished the dirt road part of the trip.
Too little, too late.
Yep.
Gentlemen,
Anyways,
why don't
tech
we
news.
pivot? Yeah, let's pivot. Time to pivot. On over to tech news. We just did a show 5 days ago, so we don't have a month's worth of news to recoup, but there were some things that happened in the last 5 days, and they're here in the rundown. If you guys want to take a look, see if there's a story there that's interesting to you, worth checking out.
I don't have it pulled up, Colby. You're going to have to
Seeing
pick this
what's
time.
hot. Oh no, that's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot.
It's all on you, my friend. We've got
Wait, ads on Netflix? Netflix is seeing subscriber decline, so the solution to that problem is to have ads.
absolutely when $14.99 is too expensive. Feel free to bump it down with ads. It's been talked about for a long time. It's finally here. Their basic with ads plan is now available. How does it work? So it will have ads, which I'll talk about in a second, but the tier will also limit you to 720p streaming, no 4K or 1080p content for you. You won't be able to watch every title in the library. There's certain titles that won't be available, and you won't be able to download shows for offline viewing. According to Netflix, they expect an average of 4 to 5 minutes of advertisement per hour of content. Initially, they say the spots are going to be between 15 and 30 seconds long, though you'll see them both before and during the shows and films. They'll obviously use the data they know about you to target the ads. It will cost $7 a month, obviously a discount on the current ones, and it's now available in 12 countries, including the U.S.
Yeah, no thanks.
Well, my mom pays for my Netflix, so.
That's funny. Your mom also pays for my Netflix.
What the hell, Sean?
She's a nice lady. What can I say?
It could be true.
What's weird-
I don't think our password has changed since we were in college together.
I kid you not. I think my brother's college roommate is still on my plan, and he graduated 6 years ago. And I do still think he uses our Netflix, so I haven't had the heart to change the password on him. It's interesting. The biggest thing for me, I get it. I frankly think it should be less than $7. I think $4.99 is probably a better price point for this. And I don't care. Listen, people have different amounts of money, and I'm fine with them offering different levels. What's weird to me is how do they choose where they insert the ads?
Yeah.
Traditional TV, if it's reruns of The Office, they already had ad breaks built in. That makes sense. But man, when you're a Netflix original movie, do they just suddenly stop the content and shove the ads in there? It's a very strange, adding ads to something that never had it is kind of strange.
Now, I wonder, did they have to do something technically for the shows that did originally aired with ads to go back and mark where the ad should be inserted?
I would think so. I mean, that would be rather than do it algorithmically. That's it would be smart to manually tag them.
But I wonder, is that like, you know, when back in the day when the I don't know, is this how it worked actually? When the TV shows tapes would arrive at the local station, I guess that was never really the case, because by the time we had TV shows, it was your own station. Yeah, never mind. But that's my point, is that there's no metadata, as far as I'm aware, that indicates where ads should be inserted in this show. So that sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, someone had to manually flag those. I'm sure.
Yeah. There was a period of time where it could have just been like the Amazon Prime app on the Apple TV or something, but it would... I don't know if it's because they were algorithmically doing it or it was something was just broken, but every time it would show an ad, it would stop like 3 seconds before the natural like scene, the actual cut, and then the ad would finish, and then you would see the last 3 seconds of the scene you were watching before the ad started, and it would go right into the next one. It was very unpleasant.
That's annoying.
Yes. Not ideal.
No, a lot of bad ways to do it. The other thing I hate is when they run the same ad 300 times.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, enjoy these 4 ads.
Hulu.
It's the same 4 ads.
Yes.
Hulu.
That is wild.
Though that's... I was at my parents' this weekend, and the political ads, oh my God. One after another, after another, after another, after another, every commercial break. Like crazy.
Any particularly good ones in Rhode Island?
So Rhode Island, I think it's the Senate race where there's like a Republican who like it maybe could do okay, and like a not that popular like Democrat candidate, which is novel for like Rhode Island is pretty Democratic, like as a whole, like the state. So it's mostly those two where it's like this guy will take away abortion, and like this guy his dad is rich. One of them is very the guy from Parks and Rec, Nick Newport.
Yeah.
Had everything handed to him.
Did you? I think this was on Twitter, RIP. But there was someone took like a video of their TV, and it was like, you know, the end of a Dr. Oz ad is like, you know, and blah 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 blah. You know, thank you, paid for by Dr. Oz for Senate. And then it's like, opponent guy, Dr. Oz fucking sucks.
Yes.
Like, just the immediate next commercial. What did it say? It wasn't Dr. Oz fucking sucks, but it was like basically that.
It was literally Dr. Oz sucks. Like that was the line, because that was Fetterman's ad. It was just some like blue collar guy. He's like, Dr. Oz sucks. Yeah, that was great. I've been getting, I live in Massachusetts. Not really any competitive races here, so I've been getting these ads from a group called Citizens for Sanity. I don't know if you've seen this. It's bizarre. They're not endorsing any one candidate, although clearly they're more Republican than Democratic. But they're just like, crime in cities is at an all-time high, and Biden's giving money to Ukraine to start World War III. When will people get the idea? Citizens for Sanity. And it's like, you're not even endorsing. You're just saying, like, shit sucks. Like, I can't believe you paid money for this, like, over-the-top commercial.
Don't forget how bad your life is.
Tell politicians no more. No more what? I know, you're confusing me. Yeah, so if you're going to go out and vote for Netflix with ads coming soon to an app near you. Let's see, what else? We've got Zoom meetings in your local theater. We've got YouTube Shorts on your TV.
Oh yeah, I got the Zoom app got redesigned. Is that's not what that is about?
No, totally unrelated. But
it's I don't often say this. It is a worse design because before you opened the Zoom app and there was a very clear call to action. Oh, maybe I just got switched. Oh, I think my thing just got switched. Maybe they just like temporarily switched me to team chat when I updated the app, because now I open it up and it does bring me to home with new meeting join. Okay, never mind. Sorry. I take it back.
A specific Dan problem. Well, Dan, this might entice you. Zoom is working with AMC movie theaters to turn some of their theaters into massive video conferencing spaces for 75 to 150 people. AMC will even provide food and beverage offerings and a concierge-style personal handling of meeting needs. The service will be available at every AMC theater, launching up to 17 major U.S. markets next year. They say it's a way to connect remote workers, providing a centrally located venues in cities that aren't necessarily located near the company HQ. Zoom is going to bring in the equipment to make it a fully functional Zoom Rooms experience. They say it could also be used for in-person events and for customer presentations.
How does this work? Like, where are the cameras?
Well, I'm guessing when they say that Zoom provides, quote, the necessary equipment for a fully functional Zoom Rooms experience. That's my guess is...
But does every chair in the theater have a camera on the back, or are you all just watching someone on Zoom?
I think it's more that. It's more of a one-to-many type of thing. So I've done something similar to this back at my last company where we were all over the globe. And what they would do is when they would do like a big presentation from headquarters in Saudi Arabia, they would like bring in a crew with like a satellite feed, and they'd get like 50 of us in a room at like 4 a.m, which was crazy. We all had to go to the office at like a stupid early hour. And the whole point of us was the guy at the beginning be like, and now it was like The Office. It was like that bit in The Office where they do the remote viewing parts, like, and let's say hello to the people in Shanghai, and then everyone would wave to the camera, and let's say hello to the people in Houston, and we would all wave. And that was the extent of it, but it was sort of that simulcast experience, and I'm like, okay, that kind of, if you're based in Austin, but you have a bunch of people in New York City, it might make sense to rent out a theater for a day for a team building, all hands kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Okay.
I actually don't think it's the stupidest idea I've ever heard.
Definitely
I will
not.
give them credit.
Definitely
and a good way
not.
for theaters to get some business going.
I would love to eat popcorn in a long meeting.
That's true.
You know, this is I love it. Should Twitter implode, which probably will, I'm going to be very bummed because my list of faves on Twitter. I just read back through and I just laugh. Like, there's so much great stuff. But one of my favorites that I never forget is the time, Colby, you went to the movie theater and got a giant beer. And I don't know why I liked it. It's just a picture of you and you're like, look at this giant beer. It's like a picture of this giant beer. But every time I scroll by it, this must have been 6-7 years ago. I laugh every time I see it. Still in my faves. I said, oh, Colby and his giant beer.
I posted that on Twitter.
Yeah, I have it deep within my likes.
I do remember when that happened because it was like a movie theater soda sized beer. Like, I had to pee so bad.
It was absurd. No, it was and it was like to the lip of the glass. Like,
yeah.
they were generous in the pour.
They were not messing around. I think that theater's still open. Maybe
So Colby can go get
beer.
his giant beer for his meeting.
Right. That would make meetings better.
Popcorn and beer at the movies. I just got into microwave popcorn at home. I never used to eat popcorn, like, ever. And I just got back into microwave popcorn. That's not an interesting story.
I don't have a microwave.
Tragic.
Oh my
No, I'm
god!
just sad.
The other day, Colby, Lena like stopped in the kitchen and like went like, I just remembered that Colby doesn't have a microwave. Because it's a big mystery.
Just
I know what you're gonna say. You just use the stove, put it in the pot, blah blah blah. Shit sticks to the pot. What are you gonna do? Use a non-stick pot? Like, do you even have a non-stick pot? I bet you don't even have a non-stick pot.
I have non-stick like frying pans.
Even nonstick frying pan.
Yeah. Like what?
Okay. Now, what if you got like a big thing of like an Indian rice dish, right? And it's voluminous. You're gonna put that in a frying pan and just like stir the rice around in the frying pan?
Yeah, that's what I do. That's genuinely what I do.
Hang on. I gotta tell you, Dan's being really harsh on Colby right now. Like, I gotta jump in here. Like, you're like, what? Are you crazy?
It does seem
Come on.
crazy.
I don't know. It's just, well, now there's no room. There's no room for a microwave. We have a giant toaster oven. Dan, I don't know if you were here for this, but we upgraded our toaster oven to an even bigger toaster oven. And now we almost exclusively use the toaster oven instead of the actual oven.
Even for baking.
Yeah.
Wow.
Laura cooked a chicken in there the other day. A whole chicken.
Dog.
It's no joke.
So listen, when you live the Colby lifestyle, everything is slow and easy, okay?
Yes.
You know,
That's
Microwave's
true.
too fast. He's not in a rush. He's got nowhere
Colby's
to be.
on island time, baby.
That's right. He's on toaster oven time.
Title.
Well, I had Mount Terror as the title, but now I'm going to write that
Toaster
one
oven
down
time
too.
is better.
Okay, I took all the switches off. Oh my god.
Well, now you got to put them all back on.
Yeah. I think that'll be easier though.
Any other stories you want to discuss, or should we move on to picks? Let's move on to picks.
Oh no, I had a pick last week and now I can't remember what it was.
Well, we'll put you last, Dan, so you got a few minutes to see if you can remember. Picks, it's part of the show where each of us want to bring something we want to share with the world. Colby, why don't you go first? What are you watching?
Andor, the new Star Wars show on Disney Plus. It's really good. It's a good show. My dad watched the first episode and he was like, I didn't like it. It wasn't Star Wars enough. And I think by that he meant none of the characters are in the movies really, except the one guy. But it's like, in contrast to Obi-Wan Kenobi, which had Star Wars people in it, it's a great show, an actual good show. It's like very, like that. All of the there are tons of characters that like pop up. Like all of the people that speak have like at least a little bit of like depth to them. It's very interesting. There's a lot of characters who are a part of the Empire, and there's a lot of like corporate intrigue in their storylines. It's pretty great. So
My ears are perked. That sounds right up my alley.
I think you'd like it. You know, it's
I'm
exciting.
amazed that this show is doing well and that the new Game of Thrones show is doing well. But I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, you know, it's great.
Very cool.
It's not
Andor
even
on
done
Disney
yet.
Plus.
I think there's more. There's more of it. Still,
Yeah,
good.
I haven't really dug too much of the Disney Plus Star Wars stuff, but I may have to check that out. It seems the reviews seem pretty darn positive.
It's like I enjoyed The Mandalorian as much as anyone, but this is a much more like mentally stimulating show than The Mandalorian.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Alrighty. I will go next here. I hate phone cases. I hate them. I had a naked phone for many, many years. And then I kept breaking them. So I finally acquiesced, and now that it's a company-owned phone, and they get mad if I keep breaking them, I didn't have much of a choice. I had a case on it before that I liked, but after a year, it had gotten kind of dirty and kind of busted. So I just recently bought the OtterBox Prefix Series clear case. I try and go with the thinnest, lightest case I can get my hands on because of how much I don't like them. And it slots onto my iPhone 12. Great. It's nice and thin. It's got a kind of a cushy border, which really helps on the, if it drops it on the corner, but it's clear on the back. So you can see that beautiful blue color. And it's not too obstructive. So actually, I've liked it a lot since I've upgraded. and it's also pretty reasonably priced at $35, which I don't think is too wild. So if you're looking for a phone case but you hate phone cases, OtterBox Prefix is my pick. And Dan, I'm annoyed because this was going to be my pick this week. So you scooped
really?
me. You scooped me, bud. What do you got? Tell the people.
Yeah, so I'm picking an app called Flighty, which I think is an iOS-only app. And it's like... Parcel is to tracking things on iOS, as Flighty is the flight. So it's like a one place where it doesn't matter if it's American or Delta. You can put all your flights in here. And I tried this a while ago, and I was like super not impressed. I was like, whatever, like this isn't helping me really at all. The thing I actually used to use it for was when I was picking someone up from the airport, I would put their flight in here, and then it was easier because then it's not in my like Delta app. I can't just open up my Delta app and see someone else's flight. You can do that with Flighty. It's cool for that. The two things I realized, so I tried it because everyone was talking somewhere about their support for live activities. And so the live activities thing came out. I was taking flights to and from Hawaii. I was like, I'll try Flighty again. You have to pony up for the premium to use the live activities, but I think it's worth it. And it's actually really nice having the live activity. I didn't have like gate changes or any unexpected complications, so I didn't get to see how it was for that. But I was surprised at how useful it was to have it on the flight. So Flighty like closely approximates where you are along your flight because it knows when your plane took off and it knows when it's supposed to land. And so then you can just look at your home screen and see how much longer is left on your flight, which was pretty cool. And it was always in the upper corner and everything. But the other thing I didn't realize is that Flighty is like Swarm for flying. So it keeps track of everywhere you've been, and you can have these cool visualizations of like, here are the flight paths of all the flights you've ever taken. Let's do your year in review. And then I was sold. I was like, okay, I have no regrets about ponying up for the premium version of this now.
Nice.
Sorry, Sean.
No, hey, well, listen, you didn't just scoop me, Colby. You want to tell them the bad news?
I picked this many moons ago.
Oh, no. I didn't check.
It was episode 265, January 29th, 2020. Slightly
Hang on.
pre-COVID.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So we've all basically picked this app then.
Well, I haven't used it very long, so it's pretty new to me. So Colby's he's on the forefront.
Yeah.
He is.
I would say no, Dan. I'm excited for my trip with the live activities. Like I'm just begging every app. Like it's the most I've been excited for an iOS feature in a while, and nobody's really supporting it at the moment. Especially for like sports scores and stuff. I'm like, I'd really like more. Like I was surprised the ESPN app hasn't really gotten on it. So. I'm definitely excited to try it.
Nice.
So if you want to hear Colby's review, go check out episode 265.
I don't know what I said.
I'm sure he said very nice things. No, that's great. Excellent pick. Excellent picks all around. The links to all those will be on the website, of course. You can check them out there. Boys, before I wrap it up, I've got a tease. We've got an Up for Debate coming later this week. I have to be honest, this may be one of the most inspired episode topics we've ever done.
Bridges and tunnels.
It came to me in a flash, and I'm truly excited for the potential. Guys, we're going to be talking magic. We're going to be talking magicians and illusionists. Oh. No. We're going to be talking, I'm going to be pulling clips of some of the most infamous tricks and illusions ever attempted. We're going to watch and talk about them, and we're going to talk about the history of magic and a whole bunch of stuff around. I'm going to do research. It's going to be fun. One of those oddball topics that I'm thrilled we thought about. So you're definitely going to circle back. I don't know how you guys feel about magic.
You know.
No strong opinions.
No, not really.
Not really. Yeah. I'm not freaked out by magic. It doesn't anger me like it does some people. I am also not the kind of person who needs to know how it happens. I just like, oh, that was cool. You know, well done.
Hypnotists bother the shit out of me. Magicians don't. Hypnotists, never. Never.
Yeah.
That's weird. But Illusionist, yeah, no, we're gonna David Copperfield, Chris Angel, David Blaine, of course, those are
Job. You got all these people.
we demand to be taken seriously. Yes, exactly. So that'll be coming up later this week over at Up for Debate. You're going to want to check that out. Wherever you get podcasts, this show, of course, don'tpanic.io is our website. The links to the pics, the audio, the video, it all happens there. But the best way to get the show is to subscribe. Wherever you get podcasts, look for that big red Don't Panic button on all the major apps with the video version on YouTube. And, of course, you can get a hold of us, don'tpanicshow@gmail.com, or tweet at us at Don't Panic Show. But we are going to wrap it up here because Dan's got more keyboards to assemble. So he's sweating, man. He's sweating. This ain't easy.
No.
This is a workout. On behalf of Dan and Colby, I'm Sean. We appreciate you being here. Hope you had as much fun as we did. And we'll see you next time for another great episode of Don't Panic.